Hey guys, I thought I would just do a quick video here. I've come out to the barn. It's around lunchtime, and I've got kids working on school and eating lunch and doing all sorts of things. And so it's time to come out and check the animals and check the barn and check the waters and all of those cool things. Check the goats. And I've been getting a lot of inbox questions from you guys about homeschooling, and particularly how we homestead and homeschool at the same time. So I'm going to address that. And I will tell you that this is a path that, we are figuring out on our own. We moved to the mountain. It's been over a year. And last year when we were already homeschooling as far as being homeschoolers. We weren't homeschooling in the summertime. I want to encourage you to, first of all, understand that there is different ways for you to homeschool. And I always encourage you to find other homeschoolers, talk to an umbrella school, and get some ideas on exactly how you think it will apply in terms of your life and your schedule. Last year, well, let me say this. My homeschooling schedule allows me to school from August 1st all the way to the next July 31st, okay? So typically, by law, I have 180 school days that I need to fulfill, and I need to school at least 4 hours each one of those days. I'm sort of a, I don't want to say I'm uptight, but when it comes to homeschooling my kids, I'm very particular about how many days that we squeeze in a time period, and I am particular about how much curriculum we get done in a day. Now, I am learning as the years roll by that, and now that we have a farm, some of that has to be tweaked. And, that's okay. I have to allow for that. So somebody was asking, how do you homestead and homeschool at the same time? Well, now last year we weren't doing a whole lot of homesteading yet. I had chickens. I'd had a coop. Well, I bought a brand new coop when we moved here. So, by, say, mid-September, October, we had some goats and some in a small lean-to that we built, and we had a little bit of fencing, and we had our chickens, which I was already used to raising chickens. And we were trying to adapt and prepare for big gardening. Even with that, but because we moved, I did not start schooling until after Labor Day. I will never make that mistake again. Now, that's me personally. That does not mean that you should or should not do that. It depends on your schedule. So I have found for me personally that starting August 1st, the first week of August, works best for me. But I also know that, obviously, with it being August and even somewhat into September, it's major harvest time. It was for us this year. So I have a certain number of days that I want to meet this month, and which will, September's next week. And I say, okay, well, here's the deal. We are adjusting for a new school year. We are doing a lot of review, which is what typically you do at the start of every school year, whether it's homeschooling curriculum or in public school. The first couple of weeks is review, adjust. We do a lot of reading, and we start hitting the big subjects. And, so the past couple of weeks, we've been doing a lot of reading. The oldest child is in high school, so, he is really doing his main core subjects. And then as of next week, we will be adding a couple of more, okay? So it's an adjustment period. Did we school every single school day of the week? No. Like this week, for example, we could not. Monday, Tuesday, and part of we did school yesterday. But Monday and Tuesday this week, like I told you before, we have been so overran with chores on the farm that I had to say, okay, I'm allowing ourselves this week to take a couple of days off, and, we're farming. Now, depending on what chores that we are doing specifically, as far as harvesting food, seed saving, animal husbandry. My oldest child actually is taking a year of animal husbandry. I've really gotten him sunken into that because I think that's important, and that is for a high school. He's getting a college prep. He's on that course, a college course. But he's allowed to pick, several electives, in which I thought that it was wise for one of them to be animal husbandry, because number one, he's working like 1 to 2 hours a day in that department. So I have given him several books that I feel are appropriate for that. Plus, we are going to be doing some new things this year, and we are going to be making some special field trips with things that we've never done before in regards to farming. So in that situation, it applies. But I do not see, and if you look at the old timers and pioneers and how they schooled their kids, you know, real life is part of education. Now, that does not mean we're putting down Huckleberry Finn, okay, or Algebra 2, or any of those things. Or biology right now. Those things are being done. But we have to understand that life skills apply as well. So, my goal is for us to start schooling around August 1st. Our first day was actually August 4th. It was a Monday. And my goal is to have our school year, 180 days, wrapped up sometime in May. Because guess what's coming in May? You know, we will have started closing out the school year, and we will be knee-deep in gardening. So I like having the summer months predominantly off. Now, if there's a couple of days that lag, or if I know that they're going to a special education camp and we're doing something very particular, yet we've finished the predominance of our curriculum, then I'll allow for that too. In other words, I think what the goal is you need to apply the schedule that fits you in your life. I do highly recommend, there's a lot of people that do the whole unschooling and all of that. I don't do that. I'm sorry. It doesn't fit me. You know, I like having the books and I like having the curriculum. We do not do our education online. I don't go for that. That doesn't mean we don't research online or do things online to help us with our information. But I like having my school books in front of me and the workbooks, and obviously having multiple children, depending on the curriculum and depending on the subject. I try to, and especially if it's something I know that we've really enjoyed or that I think has been excellent, I don't let them write in the books. We get extra notebooks. They've got the book and the workbook or whatever, and they do all of their writing in another workbook, just like you would have in school. So they also can use the text or whatever. So, because I like to save a lot of curriculum, because again, I have 3 children, and I had 3 children in a very short time span. So, my goodness, it's egg laying time. It's noon. It's time. They start getting real busy. So anyway, it's very doable. I like to start off early and get in some days early, kind of to cushion for sick days later down the road, because they're going to happen. I also homeschool Monday through Friday for the most part, but we go to a co-op on Fridays, and that counts for I gotta move away from her. Woo! That counts for a school day for us because they are taking classes and being educated. But it takes away from my home curriculum. So, you know what? Either on Saturday mornings, depending on what we're doing, or on Sunday evenings, I have homework time. I do that. Some people do not do that. We don't have really homework. We have daily assignments. And when you complete the study and complete the assignment, you're done. You know, and we do it until we're done. Sometimes we get it done in 4 hours, usually not. I find that our homeschooling takes about 6 hours in a day, and that's because I have older children. Now, if you have a kindergartner, first grade, third grader, trust me, you'll squeeze it in 4 hours because you're going to be blown away at how fast they can move. Nothing is holding you back. You know, someone else's needs is not holding your children back anymore. I'm not speaking negatively to anybody that has special needs. I understand that. I'm just saying that that element no longer exists because guess what? You're on a one-on-one basis with your child, and you're moving at the pace that they need to move at. If you need to slow it down a day or two because they're learning a new subject that may be blowing their minds up a little bit, that's okay. Because the important thing is that they are getting it, okay? A lot of times we do things, and I'm amazed at how fast my children pick it up. And I test them. I test my children and quiz them on every chapter. You know, that's up to you on how you do it. But on the main subjects, we take the tests, buddy, because I like to know that they are getting it. I like to review them, especially the oldest child. I treat him like he's in college, really. We do it just the way my college professors do it. And we review, he takes bullet point notes, we go over it, and he studies. Because that's how it was done for me, and it worked. And sometimes if it's a really massive subject and he needs to take an extra day, well, then that's what we do, because the important thing for me is that he gets it. I don't want to skip through a book and he doesn't understand half the stuff that he's done. If I have to slow it down or cut something out here or there, then we do so. That's up to you on your schedule and your individual children's needs. But as far as pertaining to life, I think you need to look at what do you value. We value homesteading. I'm sorry. I think that a child being self-reliant and self-sufficient these days, and understanding where an egg comes from, and understanding how to grow his own food, and how to properly handle a firearm at times, or skin an animal that's been properly raised, blah, blah, blah. I'm not getting into that whole debate. These are things that we are embarking, that a lot of your skills that perhaps a lot of the Boy Scouts do, things like that. That's important to us. Because to me, a child that can be that self-reliant, that takes a lot of thinking skills. Okay, planting a seed, is that a heavy thinking skill? Maybe not. But to properly grow a full plant and then take care of it and then to harvest from it, there's a whole series of events that take place in that. And that's a major life experience, and no seasons are ever going to be the same. That's critical thinking in my part. How do you apply? What do you do next? So, yes, I find homesteading to be extremely critical. And I find that it's worthy. And, being in the midst of it helps. But, if there's a day that, my doe is throwing some kids, a day or two that she's in labor, and, we know it's coming, and, the best he does is, piano practice and a little bit of algebra that day, yet he is witnessing that major life experience, that's education. Seriously. So you need to evaluate that. It's very doable, but like I said in a nutshell, I start early. Because I want us to get in the curriculum. Because I know there's going to be a gap as far as my schedule. There's going to be days where we're going to be doing other things. And then once that kind of dies down a little bit, we pick back up full steam with the full curriculum. Because when the winter months come, late fall, October, all the way through, say, into February, into March, we're hitting it hard. So you just have to adjust your schedule and know, and it may take you a year or two. It's taken me a couple of years to get into the groove of that. So give yourself that grace. It's not going to fall in, it's not going to come together for you the first year. As far as what should be, because your life's going to change. Things change. So I hope this helps. I hope it makes sense. It helps calm some nerves. Pray on it. And I will tell you that you need to be keeping a lot of your curriculum books. You need to be keeping, I'm sorry, I know a lot of people like to sell their books, and I agree with that as far as the whole budget deal. But if you get some really, really good, in my opinion, history books, history curriculum right now, save it. Because once again, they're going back to the drawing board of rewriting history for us. It's all in the news today. And boy, I could rant on that like no other, but I'm not going to. I think you kind of get where I'm going on this. You need to be saving your history books. And, other books are possibly debatable too. But I would highly encourage you to think about that and pray on that and, think about that. So, hope this helps. Hope it guided you. Feel free to ask more questions. And, every time I say I'm going to make a 5-minute video, it's 14 minutes and 39 seconds. So, I hope this helps y'all out. Y'all have a great day.